And there are many ways to prove that the Israelites were the Gentiles the Bible is talking about. Now, again, brothers and sisters, we're not going to go into a big detail. It's just another short podcast episode to show you that Cornelius was a scattered Israelite of the uncircumcision. I want you to pay attention. The book of Acts 10:1. And there was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band. Now look, I want you, a devout man and one that feareth God with all his house, which gave much alms to the people and prayed to God always. So now here's a supposedly a Caucasian Greek or Roman Italian band of another nation. Now, I just have to show you, brothers and sisters, what does devout mean? What does devout? The book of Acts 22. What makes you devout? Acts 22:12. And one Ananias, a devout man according to the law. That's what makes you devout, the law. Having a good report, of all the Jews which dwelt there. A devout man according to the law. See, the Bible is going to give you another verse to help you to understand the verse you were on. So a devout man is according to the law. So when we go back to Acts 10:2, it says a devout man and one that feareth God with all his house. So he's a devout man. See, you're devout according to the law. Now again, brothers and sisters, I have to do this. The book of John. The book of John, chapter 18. Verse 31. Then said Pilate unto him, Take ye him and judge him according to your law. The Jews therefore said unto him, It is not lawful for us to put any man to death. It is not lawful to put any man to death. Because Christ had not sinned. But what I want you to see is Pilate was a Roman. And he said to the Jews, Take ye him and judge him according to your law. Y'all sleep on things. What Pilate, a Roman, is speaking of for the Romans is they were not under or had anything to do with Judean law. The Romans had nothing to do with Judean law. Nothing to do with them. And you know what they look like, brothers and sisters? This. These people had nothing to do with the law. Nothing. Nothing to do with it. At all. They're teaching the book, but they actually in the text had nothing to do with the law. Sound like something an enemy would, try to twist around. But let's go back to the Bible. Let's get the book of Acts, chapter 18 again. And we're going to go to Gallio, who's Greek. Now, Paul finds himself in Corinth. And let's pick it up. Acts 18:14. And when Paul was now about to open his mouth, Gallio said unto the Jews, If it were a matter of wrong or wicked lewdness, O ye Jews, reason with that I should bear with you. But if it be a question of words and names and of your law, again, it's their law, it's not your law. He says of your law. The 10 Commandments is your law. The feast is your law. The sacrifice is your law. Everything that applies to the Judeans or the 12 tribes is yours. It doesn't belong to the Greek or, again, it doesn't belong to the Greek or the Roman. It did not belong to these people. These people had nothing to do with the law of the God of Israel. Nothing. So, man, you know, when I go back up, brothers and sisters, I want to show you this too. In case you don't understand, let's get the book of Acts 16. The book of Acts 16, and I think, here it is, Acts 16. Well, here, let's read this. Acts 16 and 20. And brought them to the magistrates, saying, these men, being Jews, do exceedingly trouble our city. Our city now, these Jews, and teach customs which are not lawful for us to receive, neither to observe, being Romans. What does that mean? Rome had customs that forbade Judean law to be taught to their citizens. Which means a Caucasian Roman is not going to keep Judean law. It wasn't for him to do. If it's not your law, that means you had nothing to do with the law. And Paul said this. Paul said it. Paul said it in Romans. Romans 3. I want y'all to pay attention. We're going deep here. We're going deep here. Romans chapter 3, verse 19. I want you guys to listen. Paul says, now we know that what thing soever the law saith, it saith to them who are under the law. If you were not under the law, it's not talking to you. If you were never under the law, this book isn't talking to you. But if you, because you have the power over the nations, take the book and manipulate it and put yourself in the place of the people, you can deceive. That's quite a few words of what Christianity is. The Romans and the Greeks had nothing to do with the law of the Judeans. Nothing. And Paul says, now we know that what things soever the law saith, it saith to them who are under the law. And we know Romans and Greeks weren't. Now, the Judeans, let's look at this again. This is why it's important you know this. This is why it's important you know this. Look at this. Hellenist, Jews who made Greek their tongue, and with it often adopted Greek ideas and practices. So a Hellenist was a Jew among the Greeks and Romans. A Hellenist was a Jew scattered among the Greeks and Romans. Let's go to the top, please, again. Greece is Greece, home of the Hellenists. Greeks and Grecians, however, are to be distinguished. Greeks are generally those of Hellenic race. Hellenic race. Hellenic race. Hellenic race means these were Jews. The Greeks are generally those of Hellenic race, which is saying that the Greeks were Jews. They were citizens of Greece. They didn't have two names. like an African American? How silly is that? They didn't do that. They didn't say Jew Greek. The Jew was a Greek. And they knew it. Timothy's father, Acts 16:1, Acts 18:4. They knew those Greeks in Acts 18:4 were Judeans, Hellenists. They knew that too. And probably John 12:20, and they were, because they were going to the feast of the Passover. That's why it says certain Greeks came up to worship at the feast. Going up to the feast was not a commandment to all nations. It was only a commandment to Israel. Deuteronomy 16:16, man. These Christians don't realize, man, we got the law on our side. Y'all are going to pretend, run around, play, whatever. But the word may be used to indicate non-Jews. Here are the non-Jews. They can't be both. They can't be both. They can have you believe they're both, but they're not. They know their place. But watch this. Pay attention. Foreigners and aliens. We just showed them. Romans 1:16, and we gotta examine that, because we don't even know if that's right. I gotta go look at that and do a podcast, because that might not even be right. You know, they say what they want. Grecians were Greek-speaking Jews. There's the parts you need to see. Grecians were Greek-speaking Jews, folk of the dispersion from areas predominantly Greek. They knew that these Greeks were Hellenist Jews. They were Greeks. But the other Greek was him. The other Roman was him. Get the picture. Man, we finna wow you. Pay attention now. Let's go back to the Bible. Now we know that what things soever the law saith, it saith to them who are under the law, that every mouth may be stopped, and all the world. See, look at that world now. Oh man, that world is something. Isaiah 45:17. That's all I have to say. May become guilty before God. Guilty. Now, here we go. When we go back to Acts 10 now, I want to make a point. Acts 10:2. So, you mean to tell me that a Caucasian that had nothing to do with the law, Rome, Edom, they had nothing to do with the law. They know. They can't escape their past. You seen the statues, 2,000-year-old stand look just like them. They knew they were the Romans and what their forefathers did, but they have to deceive, and they have to cover the faces of the judges. Job 9:24. But look at this now. A Caucasian, an Edomite white man, fearing God, one that didn't ever ask him to fear him. God did not ask nations to fear him. He asked Israel to fear him. With all his house, and gave much alms to the people, and prayed to God always. Pray to God always. But now it says pray to God always. Now let's take a look at a prayer of the Gentiles. Now he said pray to God. Now he's supposed to be inspired by this and that and this and this. But let me show you who the Gentiles prayed to. Let's go to the book of Isaiah. Just let me get a snap. You can't go past the Bible, brothers and sisters. You cannot go past the text. These pastors, they make up these stories. Watch this. Isaiah 45:20. Just giving you a quick one. The other one was in Isaiah 44, but I'm going to read this one. Isaiah 45:20. Assemble yourselves and come. Draw near together, ye that are escaped of the nations. Now, who escaped of the nations? Let's look at Isaiah. Let's see who escaped. Chapter 4. Let's see who escaped. Let's read Isaiah 4:1. I'm sorry. And that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. In that day shall the branch of the Lord be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. The only ones that are going to escape is Israel. Isaiah 45. Okay. Isaiah 45 and 20. Assemble yourselves and come, draw near together, ye that are escaped of the nations. Israel, they have no knowledge, and set up wood, the wood of their graven image, and pray unto a God that cannot save. So Gentiles pray to wooden images. Gentiles prayed to wooden images. They didn't pray to God. God never heard it. He didn't. We telling you, these Christians. But all of a sudden, another nation, another type of person can pray to God. So let's go back to Acts 10. It's not supposed to be that long, but let's find out what's going on. Let's find out what's going on. The book of Acts, chapter 10, and verse 10. I'm just going to read on down. Now, this is about Cornelius now. Let's read on down. And he became very hungry and would have eaten, but while they made ready, he fell into a trance. So they're cooking Peter's way. And saw heaven open, and a certain vessel descending unto him, as it had been a great sheet knit at the four corners and let down to the earth. So now it's a great sheet knit at the four corners. Four corners now. So God shows them a sheet knit to the four. The question is, who's at the four corners? Why does it even say that? Why? Why does it even say, why does it even mention four corners? There's a reason. Because someone is at the four corners. Someone is at the four corners. That's why. So let's see who's at the four corners. Let's get the book of Deuteronomy. Chapter 32. Now, these are some of the things that God pronounced upon us if we broke his law. So let's look at this. Deuteronomy 32:25. The sword without and terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin. Going to kill kids. The suckling. Also with the man of gray hairs. And I said I would scatter them into corners. Scatter who? Into corners. Who is God going to scatter into corners? His people. The Christians know about this. You guys, let me tell you something. You have to be, let's continue on. And I said I would scatter them into corners. He's talking about Israel now. So Israel would be scattered into corners and would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. If God is going to make the remembrance of them to cease, that means no one would really know who Israel was. See, that's what the Christians, they know this. But see, we know, and this is why we ask you to just, brothers and sisters, let me tell you this. You believe me when I say, if you continue to read and read and read, that's the only way you're going to get past this. This is your life now. Reading is your life. And we're glad you choose us to read with. All we're doing is reading. We read you what it means. This is how you'll know. This is how you'll know, brothers and sisters, who the children of Israel are. The secret things belong unto the Lord, our God. But those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever. The only ones that God is going to reveal something to is Israel. I hope you guys are understanding this. It's going to come, whatever is revealed is going to come through Israel. And it's being revealed now. You can see who the true Israelites are. Amos 2:11. Amos 2:11. And I raised up your sons of prophets and of your young men for Nazarites. Is it not even thus, O ye children of Israel, saith the Lord? There's no other prophet. There's no Edomite prophet, no Chinese prophet, no African prophet. No, the only prophet would be from Israel. If you're not Israel teaching, you're not a prophet. You're not. The false prophet even comes out of Israel. Because when the Bible notes, we're going to Revelation 19, the beast, and it says, as well as the false prophet. There is a false prophet working with the beast, and people don't understand who that is. But we're going to explain it in a future podcast episode. See, the prophets will only be in Israel. The secrets would only be in Israel. That's why now these readings are getting more and more intense. So that's how you'll know the secrets. And you'll know them by reading them. It's good to read them. Deuteronomy 32. Deuteronomy 32. Again. Verse 26. And I said, I will scatter them, the them as Israel, into corners. So you're looking at it. And I will make the remembrance of them cease from among men. So here we see Israel is in corners. So I want to go to the book of Isaiah 11. Isaiah 11, verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the isles of the sea. He shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. See, who was at the four corners? Remember, God said that he would scatter them into corners. in Deuteronomy 32:26. And when Christ delivers them, they're going to be delivered out of the four corners. This is when Christ returns. So somehow, some way now. But you remember now, if we read on down, look at this. Verse 10 almost left us off. Watch this. Isaiah 11, verse 10 again. And in that day shall there be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. And to it shall the Gentiles seek. See, the Gentiles are going to be mentioned as we read down. We proclaim that. And its rest, Gentiles seek, and its rest shall be glorious. And it continues on, and it shall come to pass in that day, same day, that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people. His people were the Gentiles in verse 10. Don't let them take you away from that. It's still talking about that. And his rest shall be glorious. Now watch this. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people. His people is Israel, which shall be left from Assyria, from Egypt, and from Paphros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the isles of the sea. Watch this. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth, because that's where he put them, in corners, and made their remembrance to cease. That's why they're called outcast and dispersed. Who's at the four corners? Let's give you a New Testament verse. It's what you can prove. We're not going to let somebody come and just say, "Oh, well, the church was at the four corners of the earth." No, no, no. Once again, liars. Revelation 7:1. And after these things, I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth. Four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, and the wind, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor the sea, nor any tree. And I saw another angel descending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried out with a loud voice to the four angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea. Oh, boy. Saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of God in their foreheads. In the servants. And I heard the number of them which were sealed. And there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. No other nation was sealed here. And that 144 is the house of God. That's not all the people. These Christians, we're going to have to do this. We're going to have to come here. It's just not talking about only 144,000 people are in this number. No. 1/3 of Israel is in the number. Zechariah 13:9. These are just the house. Each one sealed. But the point is, and I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels. Wait a minute, let me go back up. That's not the one that I wanted. I wanted this. Revelation 7:1. And after these things, I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor the sea, nor on any tree. Four corners of the earth. Who's there? Who's at the four corners? Verse 3 saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. Servants. The servants. See, Leviticus 25. Verse 55. For unto me the children of Israel are servants. We don't know, we're not sure why they call the servants the church. No. Leviticus 25, verse 55 says, for unto me the children of Israel are servants. They are my servants, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Israelites were his servants. Psalms 135. Psalms 135. Verse 13. It says, thy name, O Lord, endureth forever, and thy memorial, O Lord, throughout all generations. For the Lord will judge his people, and he will repent himself concerning his servants. His servants are his people. It's not the church or any nation that believes on Christ. Now, when I say it's not the church, it's not the multi-ethnic church, all the nations together worshiping it. No, his servants were the children of Israel. Psalms chapter 79. Now, this is at the time we were being attacked by the heathen. The heathen that this is talking about is Esau. It says this, O God, the heathen are coming to thine inheritance. Thy holy temple they have defiled. They have laid Jerusalem on heaps. David saw this. He continues to see AD 70. He already saw it in Psalm 74. He sees it again. The dead bodies of thy servants. Of whose servants? Well, wait a minute. Let's go back up. O God, the heathen are coming to thine inheritance. Thy holy temple they have defiled. They have laid Jerusalem, the Jews, Jerusalem, Israel, on heaps, Israel. The dead bodies of thy servants. See, Israel is his servant. Israel is his servants. And they gave the dead body of his servants, Israelites, have they given to be meat unto the fowl. And let me read that again. The dead bodies of thy servants have they given to be meat unto the fowl of the heaven. And the flesh of thy saints unto the beasts of the earth. So the saints are his people, which are his servants. See, the saints are Israel. But notice, his servants were Israel. Isaiah. I'm just a few verses, brothers and sisters. See, it has to be proven. We're not going to see all nations being his servants. Isaiah 44, verse 1. Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. The servant of God, whether it's servant or servants, is Israel. So when we go back to Revelation, again, see, they try to make you think that the servants, no, you can't go outside of what's written. And that's what they do. That's why it says in Revelation 7:3, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants. The servants of our God in their foreheads are Israelites, and Israelites alone, because they were the servants. That's why it says, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. No, when it says they were sealed, this lets you know that these are the only ones that are going to be saved. He didn't seal the nations, he sealed Israel. He sealed the rulers from their tribes. That's why that's why Christ said, if you can pay attention, brothers and sisters, the book of Matthew, always pay attention. Matthew 19. You got to put these things together. Matthew 19, verse 28. Always put this goes right with it. And the Messiah said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Because that is what the 144,000 are going to be. It's going to be Christ, the 12 apostles, and the judges. Judging the 12 tribes of Israel. It didn't say judging the nations. The kingdom, Israel. There it is. They're the sealed. They get the thrones. They judge themselves. I mean, really, Revelation. Christians, they'll try to force you. It's going to be a forced life, brothers and sisters. The God of this world demands it. Revelation 22:14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates of the city. For without are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth to make a lie, like the Christians. Dogs are not in the kingdom. Now, a dog again. Mark, I want this one in Mark. Mark 7. Verse 25. For a certain woman whose young daughter had an unclean spirit heard of him, and came and fell at his feet. The woman was a Greek, a Syrophoenician by nation, and she besought him that he would cast forth the devil out of her daughter. Now watch what Christ says. A Greek, now another nation. But the Messiah said unto her, let the children first be filled, for it is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it unto the Gentiles. Dogs. This is the same dog in Revelation 22:15. Same one. See the conflict, brothers and sisters, there's a lot. But what I wanted you to know, brothers and sisters, let's go back to Acts, because I'm getting ready to. Let's go back to the book of Acts, chapter 10. All right, verse 11. And saw heaven open, and a certain vessel descending unto him, as it had been a great sheet knit at the four corners, and let down to the earth. Who was at the four corners? Israelites. They were scattered in the four corners. They were sealed in the four corners, and they were delivered in the four corners. Deuteronomy 32, verse 26, prophesied by Moses that they would be scattered into corners. Revelation 7, verses 1 through 3, the angels were standing at the four corners. Who was at the four corners? His people that were sealed. And in Isaiah 11 and 12 is the salvation of those four corners. Now let's take a look at them by chapter and verse. Now remember, four corners. Again, Deuteronomy. 32. Yes, just to have you read them with me, then we're going to go right on through. Deuteronomy 32:26. I'm just going to read them straight, brothers and sisters. And I said, I will scatter them unto corners, and I will make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. So Israel scattered into corners. Revelation. I'm just going to do Revelation. I should have went in this order before, but Revelation 7. Verse 1. And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth. They were standing where Israel was, scattered, holding the 4 winds of the earth, and holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried out with a loud voice to the 4 angels, whom thou was given to hurt the earth and the sea, the 4 corners. Watch this. Saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants which were Israelites of God in their foreheads. We have to seal the servants first. Before destruction comes, we have to seal these Israelites. What are you sealed with? If you're sealed, watch this. Isaiah. Chapter 8. Verse 16. Bind up the testimony, seal the law among my disciples. That's what you're sealed with, the law. When you're sealed with that law, we got you. Christ won't be far away. But let's go back. Revelation 7. Verse 3. Saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants, which are the Israelites of God, in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of the tribes of the children of Israel. Now that 144,000 is the house. That is not all of them. See, the reason why we know is because of Zechariah. I want you guys to pay attention to this. Zechariah 12 and verse 8. I want you to, don't be surprised, brothers and sisters. That's why Christ said, be great in the kingdom. See, it says, in that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David. That's one group of Israelites. One group of Israelites shall be as David. David was a powerful, mighty warrior. He had powers. See, you got to look at David. The book of Psalms. You got to pay attention. The book of Psalms, chapter 18. I'm going to show you Psalms 18. I'm going to read a couple of verses. David told you what he could do. David says, for by thee I have run through a troop. David was able to run through a troop. A troop is about 100 men. Like a bowling ball with pins. He was running through troops, brothers and sisters. Samson was not the only one that had power. And by my God, I have leaped over the wall. Do you know, brothers and sisters, that walls were 40, 50, and 60 feet high? David could leap over them. This is where they got Superman from. Instead of looking at leaping over the wall, he could leap over tall buildings with a single bound. That's the same thing David did. He leaped over walls. Stand there, leap. He went over the wall, landed. Watch this. Let's drop down to verse 35. He's showing you what he can do. David says, thou hast also given me the shield of thy salvation, and thy right hand hath holden me up, and thy gentleness hath made me great. Now, I want to go up to verse 34 because it was salvation. Let's look at what David could do. When God saved him from his enemies, what could he do? That's why I read that verse first. He says, he teacheth my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken with my arm. David can bend steel. When it says that a bow of steel is broken in my arm, a bow of steel broken with his arm, he can bend the steel. Sound familiar? The only one that could bend steel would be the Man of Steel, right? Don't you guys see where they got Superman from? It's right here. Easy. So this is the shape of Israel when God delivers them. That's why Zechariah 12, verse 8 again. Zechariah 12 and 8. In that day, shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David. You see what David was able to do? Bend steel, jump over walls. That's the new body, brothers and sisters. That's the body we're promised. But watch this. And the house of David, which is the 144,000, shall be as God. See, they are on a different level. They shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them. They're going to be on a different level, different power level, different judgment level. Don't tell us just 144,000 is going to make it. There were two classes of Israelites that were going to make it. One would be as David, the other one would be as God. And I guarantee you, David wrote the same. Look, in the book of Psalms. Because we want you to see this. I have been looking at certain types of clips, brothers and sisters. It's amazing. The book of Psalms, chapter 58 and verse 10. It says, the righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked. This is a prophecy. So that a man shall say, verily, there is a reward for the righteous, the Israelites. For verily he is a God that judgeth the earth. You see, that God is with a capital G. We know that the capital G is eternal. The enemy knows what you're going to become, brothers and sisters. He knows it. That's why there's so much confusion. There's two levels. So when we go back to the book of Acts 10. And just for kicks, verse 11. And I saw heaven open, and a certain vessel descending unto him, as it had been a great sheet knit to the four corners and let down to the earth. Well, who was at the four corners? Israelites were scattered into corners. That's what Cornelius was. Just that. But let's go on down. Wherein were all manner of four-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and fowls of the air. See, this is what they say. See, it's different nations. Different nations now. But look, because we're going to further prove this thing. And there came a voice to him, rise, Peter, kill and eat. But watch this. But Peter said, not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean. Now, Christians actually think that this is talking about pig. See, that's what I'm saying, brothers and sisters. There's levels to understanding the parables. Some people don't even have a clue about the parables. They don't know. You have to be very careful on how you, because they don't even understand none of the parable. None. This has nothing to do with eating food. This has everything to do with the people. Even some of the smart ones among them should know this. It's the people. It's talking about Cornelius. So they know. But look at this. Here we go. Now we're going to see what's going on here. And the voice spake unto him again the second time, what God has cleansed, that call not thou come. Of course, you know, brothers and sisters, wherein were all manner of four-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and fowls of the air. See? Drop on down. And there came a voice to him, rise, Peter, kill and eat. But it wasn't talking about eating anything. God wasn't talking about eating nothing. He's showing Peter a vision. And it looks like a parable. But Peter said, not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean. Who would the unclean be? The four-footed beasts of the earth, wild beasts, creeping things, and fowls of the air. So let's drop down. And a voice spake unto him again the second time, what God has cleansed, that call not thou come. So here's what the Christians say. God cleansed all nations. God cleansed the nations. He cleansed anybody of any nation that believed on Christ. But God has cleansed. Cleansed. Now, so let me read this again. Then we're going to go to some verses. And the voice spake unto him again the second time, what God has cleansed, that call not thou coming. That call not thou coming. So what I have cleansed, don't call it coming. And again, this would mean that anybody from any nation they believe was cleansed. Is that what that really means? Well, let's go to a couple of verses. Because what has happened, brothers and sisters, is there has to be a way we're going to be cleansed. How are we going to be cleansed? Let's get the book of Psalms 119. Verse 9. Wherewith shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereunto according to thy law. The word is the law. See, it says, wherewith shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to thy word. The word. So you cleanse your way according to the law. That's how you cleanse your way. And it's funny, brothers and sisters, again, as I have shown you before, the book of John 15:3, watch Christ. Now you are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Both testaments say the word cleanses you. Right here, now you are clean. You're clean through the word. I mean, did y'all not see that? Looks like the same thing in both testaments. Right? I mean, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? How shall he become clean? By taking heed thereto according to thy word. He cleanses his way according to the law. Word. You see that? Word according to the word. That's how he's going to cleanse his way. You see it, brothers and sisters. He's going to cleanse his way according to the word. Now we go to John 15:3. Christ says, now ye are clean through the word. Same thing it says in Psalms 119:9. Doesn't look like nothing changed. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Oh, one more. Ephesians 5. I think most of you knew where I was going. Ephesians 5. Verse 26. That he might sanctify and cleanse it. Cleanse it with the washing of the water by the word. Looks like the word is the cleanser. The law. We don't have time for them, brothers and sisters. We do not have time for them. I know. Word, the Greek logos, is sometimes used of the Messiah Christ, John 1. That's where it's at. The word of God is a name often given to the scriptures and the law of God. The word was the law. It was the cleanser in the old, as they say, and the cleanser in the new. The word was the cleanser. These Christians want you to believe that you're cleansed by some dirty pool water. Come on, man. That's idolatry. Got to be kidding me. So let's go back and take a look at some prophecy. Let's take a look at some prophecy. Now, you know that the word is the cleanser. So let's look at the book of Jeremiah. Let's see who God is going to cleanse. See, there's prophecy. See, the Christians think that they're going to do this without prophecy. The prophets saw who was going to be cleansed. Jeremiah. Sorry about it. Jeremiah 33:7. And I will cause the captivity of Judah and the captivity of Israel, both kingdoms, to return, and will build them as at the first during the time of David and Solomon. And I will cleanse them from all their iniquity, whereby they have sinned against me. How is he going to cleanse it? By the word. That's how he's going to cleanse them from their iniquity, with the word. Come on now. And I will cleanse them from all their iniquity, whereby they have sinned against me. And I will pardon all their iniquities. Not all nations' iniquities. He's only pardoning the iniquity of Israel, whereby they have sinned and whereby they have transgressed against me. God, wait a minute, Ezekiel. Chapter 37. Verse 22. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel. And one king shall be king to them all. That's Christ. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all. Northern and southern kingdom. Come on now, let's look at this. Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, their sins, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions. But I will save them out of all their dwelling places, the four corners, whereby they have sinned, and will cleanse them. so shall they be my people, and I will be their God. I will cleanse them. If he's going to cleanse you, that means you're unclean. Come on. If he's going to cleanse your brothers and sisters, that means Israel was unclean. In other words, Gentiles. The book of Joel. Joel 3. Verse 8, verse 19. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness. Look at that. More than Obadiah saw the prophecy of Edom, for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. Ha! But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. That's who's going to dwell forever. What? For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord shall dwell in Zion. What does that mean? For I will cleanse their blood. If he has to cleanse our blood, that means we're unclean. Cornelius was a scattered Israelite, man. There is no prophecy where God's going to cleanse the nations. It's not there. You have to have prophecy with what you see, and they don't. When the Bible says in the book of Acts, this lets us know Cornelius was an Israelite. The law had nothing to do with anybody else. That's why when you look at, and there was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the Italian band. Excuse me, let me read that over. There was a certain man got excited in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band, a devout man. He was devout according to the law. What cleanses you, brothers and sisters? The law. The law is the cleanser, and you're devout according to the law. The law is the cleanser. That's why it says a devout man. He was devout according to the law. Acts 22:12. So he was cleansed by the law to become a devout man that feared God with all his house and prayed to God always. So when we go back to Acts 10, verse 15, and the voice spake unto him again the second time, what God has cleansed, that call not thou common. Who did he cleanse according to prophecy? Well, let me ask you like this. How did he cleanse you? And who did he cleanse? How he cleansed you was by the word. And who he cleansed was those scattered Israelites that were unclean. Jeremiah 33:8, I will cleanse them. Let's do it one more time. Jeremiah 33 verse 8. And I will means I haven't done it yet. And I will cleanse them from all their iniquity whereby they have sinned against me. And I will pardon all their iniquities whereby they have sinned and whereby they have transgressed against me. I will cleanse them. This is a future prophecy. Yes, sir. Let's get straight to the point. The book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 37. straight to the point. Verse 23, neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, sins, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions. See? But I will save them out of all their dwelling places. Talking about Israel, wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them. That means in the future. And will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, and I will be their God. He's cleansing Israel. That's who's unclean. If he's got to cleanse them, they're the unclean. If he has to cleanse them, that means they're the unclean. Up until the certain time he cleansed them. So once again, back to Joel. Let's get a clue on when this is. Joel chapter 3 and verse 18, no, verse 19. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness. For the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. So Edom is destroyed. Egypt is the place of bondage. All the places of bondage, along with Edom, shall be desolate because of what they have done to the children of Israel. But look at this. But Judah shall dwell forever. Look at this. This is another time. And Jerusalem from generation to generation. For I will cleanse their blood. So when these nations are destroyed, that is when he's cleansing the blood. See, for I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, which means they were unclean. For the Lord dwelleth in Zion. When he says, I will cleanse, that makes Israel unclean until he cleanses us from our iniquity and cleanses our blood. So when you see this, this is how you know Cornelius was an Israelite. Acts 10. Verse 11. Here's how you know. Acts 10 and 15. And the voice spake unto him the second time, what God has cleansed, now is cleansed. That call not thou common. Now it's cleansed, meaning during the time of the New Testament, God began to cleanse his people. And that cleansing, whether scattered, wherever you are, it's still happening. The cleansing is continuing now. But it began to happen when John the Baptist began to teach on up until today. We are cleansing with the word of God the scattered children of Israel, because that's who God prophesied through his prophets to cleanse, not all nations, proving that Cornelius was a scattered Israelite. With that, brothers and sisters, all praises. We hope you can get a little bit out of this, or got a little bit out of this. I've been screwed up today. I am really tired, but work has to be work. So peace be unto you, brothers and sisters. We'll be back with you. One love. All praises.